Hello and welcome to my channel, You Are The One, where we talk all things law of assumption to help make your manifesting journey easier and more fun. And today we are talking about a really important topic in regards to doing this work in consciousness, but also not disassociating from your body. And this is in response to an email that I received from a wonderful subscriber. Hello to Nini. This video is for you, but also I thought it's a really good question, so I wanted to answer it because I feel like it will be of value to many others. So that's what we're doing today. Stick around. My name is Hedley Derenzie. I'm a qualified life coach and author. If you'd like to know more about me or my offerings, including my coaching or my free Set Yourself Up with the Ultimate Self-Concept course, you'll find all those details in the box below this video or at my website, youaretheone.com.au. But we are just going to get straight into today's topic, which is how to do this work in consciousness without disassociating from your body or escaping reality or kind of losing yourself off with the pixies, with the fairies. This is nothing against pixies or fairies. I love them all. But how do we stay in our body and in this reality when we are working in consciousness? And this is in response to a lovely email I had from Nini. Thank you so much for reaching out and for asking this question, because it is an important topic and a valuable question that I think would be of interest to some of you as well. So that's what we're doing today. So many of us have experienced all sorts of things in our life, including traumas, difficult situations, challenges, like, some serious stuff that we've gone through in our childhood. And one of the coping strategies that many of us learned was disassociation. And that is especially true in experiences of trauma. So where there has been trauma, there is also likely to be a habit of disassociating. Now, there is nothing wrong with that. That is a coping strategy that has in many ways served many of us well in helping protect us from harm or pain, or being able to simply endure whatever it is that we had to endure. I know some of you have been through some phenomenally horrendous experiences, and I'm in awe of you, because to endure those kind of experiences, you really have to pull out some pretty crafty techniques in order to still be here. And one of those is disassociation. Now, what disassociation is it's kind of like, just put simply, it's where we disappear. It's where we leave our body and we go to someplace else. We go off in imagination. It helps us to cope with a situation that is unbearable in reality. Now, what happens is, if we don't arrest that coping mechanism and we keep doing it, it'll stay with us throughout adulthood. And that's why revision is really important here, because unless we revise these unfavorable memories, these traumatic memories, then those memories remain active. And those memories that are active are really active states of consciousness that will continue to play out in your present experience, in your present reality. Because remember, there is no past, there is no future, there is only now. Past and future are concepts of consciousness. They exist in your imagination. So if you're only relying on one memory, then that memory and the state of consciousness associated to that memory will continue to play out in your reality in different ways, of course, but the state of consciousness will be matched by the events in your reality. And that's why we can start to feel like a victim to reality, because the same thing just happens over and over and over, and we think it's happening to us, rather than coming from the state of consciousness that is still active in us, because we haven't revised it, because we didn't know we could. We just thought the past was fixed, and we thought we're all doomed to live as things always have been, but that is not true. So this work, it's not about disassociating from our body. It's not about escaping reality. However, there is a fine line between that, and I want to explain that a bit further. As I like to start these videos, although I'm 4 minutes in, so I'm not really starting this, am I? But anyway, consciousness is the one and only reality. Reality is the reflection of what we're doing in consciousness. So what law of assumption is doing is helping us to bring more consciousness to what we're doing anyway. So even when you disassociate, you're still creating your reality. You just don't know that you're doing it, and you're doing it unconsciously. And of course you are, because you're disassociating from reality, and the same state of consciousness remains active within you, which is creating these events that you have to disassociate from. and you're in the cycle because you haven't actually revised, you haven't changed the story, you haven't changed the assumption, everything's still in a cycle and you're playing catch up with yourself, and that's why it can be crazy making. Thanks God to these teachings that can help bring us out of the craziness, and part of that is coming back into this physical body, which is the gateway to conscious creating. Like, we have to become very conscious of what is going on right now in order to create a new story. And that's part of this deal. We don't want to escape reality. We want to look at reality face on. Like, we want to really face our reality and look at reality from a very objective perspective, which is, what is my reality telling me about what is going on in my subconscious? You want to look at it very objectively. You don't want to deny it. You don't want to escape it. You don't want to defend yourself against it. You don't want to reject it. You don't want to get rid of it. You want to look at your reality as your greatest, best, most loving and loyal friend that is revealing to you exactly what is going on in your subconscious. Your reality is a direct reflection of what is going on in your subconscious, and that is where you'll get all the information you need on what are the assumptions that need some assistance or need some changing or need some rewriting. So we want to really become present to where we are right now, looking at our reality as the outpicturing of our subconscious, and go, okay, cool, that's not favorable. That needs a little bit of work. That's cool. I'll keep that. And looking at what is going on in our subconscious. So even in that process alone, you are associating with your body. You are here and now looking at reality objectively. Now that in itself will bring you back into your body. Because remember, disassociating is because your reality is not what you want it to be. It's unfavorable. Now, by looking at your reality, you're automatically associating with it, because you have to. In order to look at your reality objectively, you have to be in relationship with it. From that perspective, then you can look at where you need to work or where you need to use your imagination in order to change that story. So let's say you look at your reality and you see a pattern that's playing out that's super negative, and you realize that's something that I want to change. So then you go into your imagination and you revise that memory that is still active to how you would like it to be. Remember, the brain doesn't know what is the difference between what it sees and what it's imagined. So if you're only working on one memory, then that memory is going to remain active until you give the brain another option to say, actually, no, that didn't happen. This happened instead. And what that sets up is a new state of consciousness. And the more you direct your brain or direct your focus and your awareness towards that, then you're creating a new state of consciousness that is going to play out now. That is already bringing more consciousness to it. But if you are feeling like you just go off when you're in imagination because you haven't yet really cemented yourself down. And I can really relate, because I was just somebody who disassociated probably up until I rediscovered these teachings, when somebody ghosted the person that brought me into these or inspired me to go looking for answers, ghosted me. And that was a really tough lesson to learn. That was super painful. It took me 3 months. I went through a lot of pain around that didn't even equate to the relationship that I had with this person. And it was not until I realized in a healing session where this person said, come back, come back. And I kept saying come back during the session. It was really annoying because I just wanted to go off. I just wanted to disappear. And when I came out of the session, she actually said to me, you disappeared, you kept disappearing, you kept leaving your body, I kept having to pull you back. And I just had this moment, this aha moment of, holy shit, this is what I've been doing my whole life. I have been disappearing on myself my whole life, and I don't want to do that anymore. I want to come back and really be with myself and stay with myself and stick with myself and, be safe in myself and create the safety, the sense of safety in myself. So of course, that's where I had to use my imagination. I had to go back and revise the memories where I felt unsafe. And I had to recreate all sorts of things in my imagination to create that sense of security and safety and wanting to be with myself. Now, if you're working in imagination and you still feel like you're flying off, I would bring yourself back into this physical world. So anchor yourself in by putting yourself in nature, taking your shoes off and walking in the grass, placing your hand on a tree or getting in some water, getting into the garden, using your hands, really engaging the body in a physical activity that is connected to the earth. The earth is very grounding. So if you find that you are doing this work and you just feel like you're losing yourself in imagination, just come back, put yourself into the earth in some way, whether it's in the water, in the dirt, in the garden, on a tree, in a lake. What else is there? Just in the breeze, feeling the breeze against you. Anything that just grounds you into this earth is very helpful to keep you here in your body. But keep in mind, this teaching is not about losing yourself. These teachings are about finding yourself and coming back to yourself and staying with yourself. Yes, you are consciousness, you are imagination, but you're here in human form. You're here to have a physical human experience. And there is contrast with that. So there are going to be times that feel really good and there are going to be times that feel not so good. And what we're doing is learning to use our power, which is our awareness, and directing it towards the things that we want to experience more of. And sometimes that does require revising the things we want less of. We don't want that memory anymore, so I'm going to revise it to how it should have been. If there was trauma, you can absolutely revise that. You do it in imagination and you recreate that story. You recreate that experience. Remember, it's not happening now. It is not happening now other than in your memory, in your imagination. And if it is happening in your memory and it's still going on and you're still playing it out, then that state of consciousness associated with it is active and it is getting pushed out and reflected back in your reality in some way, in some event or circumstance or relationship. That's how this works. So you want to become very conscious. You want to stay very present to who you are now, where you are now, looking at what your reality is revealing to you now about yourself, and then going into imagination and working very consciously with imagination on revising or recreating those stories. And if you feel yourself just getting lost with that, go into the earth, ground yourself, get wet, get your bare feet out, get your hands out, like whatever it is, roll in the dirt, like do some painting, like put paint on yourself and like paint some I'm just, thinking off the top of my head here. I haven't done that actually, but that sounds like a fun idea. Really ground yourself down, like find out what makes you feel good. How do you stay in this earth? And also the other thing that is really good for anchoring yourself is every morning when you get up, put your feet on the floor and really feel yourself into your feet. Actually, one of the things that I always do when I'm working with clients and I get them to go into their meditation is getting them to go into their feet. So directing their awareness down into their feet because that just grounds you into your body. So when you get up in the morning, ground yourself into your body, put your feet on the floor, feel your feet against the floor, and then just close your eyes and take a few breaths and just remind yourself of who you are. I am consciousness here having a human experience. This is who I am, and just feel what it feels like to be in this body. You are consciousness, but you are in a human body. And we want to stay here because we've come here for a reason. And that reason is to awaken to the awareness that we are in human form and the God that we are in human form, but we're not helping ourselves when we fly off and disassociate from our bodies. And the reason that we're doing that is because of an unhealthy or an unfavorable memory that's still active. So you want to revise that. Why are you disassociating? Where did you learn to disassociate? And go and revise that story, go and revise that memory, and that will be super helpful. And remember, with all revision, do not be afraid of it. Do not be afraid of your imagination. It's here to help you. It's your God-given power. It's what's going to set you up for the most amazing life, and it will transform your life. So that is kind of really all I have to say about that. I hope that helps, Nini. And to anyone else who might have been asking that question, please remember, you are the amazing creators of your reality. You are the superstar of your show. You are the producer, the writer, the director, and the actor in your movie. What you assume to be true will be so. So assume the best for you. Assume the best for everyone in your movie too, and you will have an amazing life. And this is my wish, my vision, and my prayer for you. And I hope you like the new background. Forgot to mention that, but I'm sure you noticed. All right, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.